Page number 449, Book 6, The Book of Fate, Canto 2, The Way of Fate and the Problem of Pain. In the dreadful passages, the fatal paths, invulnerable his soul, his heart unslain. He lives through the opposition of earth's powers and nature's ambushes and the world's attacks.
So we have a couple of things here. Ambushes,
Ambushes.
yes.
Okay.
And now, when you read the first line, we have to start paying a little bit more attention to the commas, semicolons, and colons.
Okay.
So basically, we don't want to run those two together because he's speaking about two different things, dreadful passages and fatal paths.
Okay.
Same with the next line. His soul is invulnerable, his heart is unslain.
Mm.
So what is Sri Aurobindo telling us in these 4 lines?
He's telling us that he's telling about an avatar's powers, or like his unfaltering
It tells us that nothing can touch the avatar.
yeah.
Even though he has to go through
Yeah.
these dreadful passages and these fatal paths,
Yeah.
his soul is immune to attack. That's invulnerable.
Yeah.
It's impossible to damage,
Mm.
impossible to injure or to wound.
Mm.
Now, therefore, his heart is unslain.
Mm.
And he lives through the opposition of Earth's powers. And I'd like to read powers because I don't think we've done that.
Yeah.
Because he capitalizes powers,
Mm.
and it's extremely important because it gives us the key to this entire passage.
Sri Aurobindo. Power means strength and force, Shakti, which enables one to face all that can happen and to stand and overcome, also to carry out what the divine will proposes.
Okay, but this is for powers.
Okay, so we read powers now here. Okay, powers. These are the forces and beings that are interested in maintaining the falsehoods they have created in the world of the ignorance, and in putting them forward as the truth which men must follow. In India, they are termed asuras, rakshasas, pishachas, beings respectively of the mentalized vital, middle vital, and lower vital phases, who are in opposition to the
Lower
gods.
vital planes.
Vital planes, lower
This is
vital
important.
planes.
Very important, huh?
Mm.
So the asuras are the mentalized vital.
Mm.
The rakshasas are the middle vital.
Mm-hmm.
And the sachas are the lower vital planes.
Okay.
Who are in opposition
Who are in opposition to the gods, the powers of light. These too are powers, for they too have their cosmic field in which they exercise their function and authority, and some of them were once divine powers, the former gods, Purvdeva, Purvadeva, as they are called somewhere in the Mahabharata, who have fallen towards the darkness by revolt against the divine will behind the cosmos.
It's one of the most important letters we could read.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
he is telling us about these forces that work in the world, and we see it so strongly now.
Mm.
They are really at work in America, of course,
Mhm.
but also in Europe and also in Afghanistan, Pakistan, all the countries that are basically Muslim populated.
Mm.
And therefore, they want to maintain the falsehoods they have created in the world
Mm.
because they are fallen gods, but they are gods and they have fallen towards the darkness, revolting against the divine will that is behind the cosmos.
Mm.
When the avatar comes down, he has to go through these dreadful passages, these fatal paths, but he does it with the heart that's unslain and his soul impossible to damage.
Mm.
And he lives through the opposition of these powers of the earth.
Mm.
And the ambushes, you know what an ambush is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And nature's ambushes and the world's attacks.
His spirit's stature
Stature,
transcending
stature.
stature. His spirit's stature transcending pain and bliss. He fronts evil and good with calm and equal eyes. So here he's saying that his nature is such and it can actually transcend the pain and bliss because for him he sees everything with the eye of equanimity.
Yes, exactly. The next line is very important, and we have to read about the Sphinx.
Okay. He too must grapple with the riddling sphinx and plunge into her long obscurity. So I think he's saying that however he's in equanimity or he has the capacity to transcend the pain, he still must go through the obscurities.
Yes, and what is the Sphinx?
Yeah.
He tells us that. There's a long definition. We don't really need that.
Okay.
Go directly to Sri Aurobindo.
Sri Aurobindo, the Sphinx is a symbol of eternal quest that can only be answered by secret knowledge. Wow.
Uh,
To
yes.
become ourselves by exceeding ourselves, so we may turn the inspired phrases of a half-blind seer who knew not the self of which he spoke, is the difficult and dangerous necessity, the cross surmounted by an invisible crown which is opposed on us, the riddle of the true nature of his being proposed to man by the dark sphinx of the inconscience below and from within and above by the luminous veiled sphinx of the infinite consciousness and eternal wisdom comforting him as an inscrutable divine Maya,
Yeah, confronting him,
confronting him as
not
an
comforting him, confronting him.
confronting him as an inscrutable divine Maya, to exceed ego and be our true self, to be aware of our real being, to possess it, to possess a real delight of being, is therefore the ultimate meaning of our life here. It is the concealed sense of our individual and terrestrial existence.
I know
Wow.
it's a very powerful, very
Yeah.
statement. But there are two sphinxes.
Mm.
Speaks of a higher one and a lower one.
Mm.
And the sphinx, of course, is just a symbol.
Hmm.
Shelley has written a very powerful poem on the Sphinx,
Okay.
the poet Shelley. So we have to we have to find the secret knowledge, and then there is no longer any Sphinx. But he has to grapple with the riddling Sphinx and plunge into her long obscurity. Because this lower Sphinx, we're going to find out in the next line where it is.
He has broken into the inconscious depths that veil themselves even from their own regard. He has seen God's slumber these he has seen God's slumber shape these magic worlds.
Very good. You're very good. Sometimes, of course, you're reading something for the first time, you don't quite get the feeling of the line, and you caught it and you went back and you got it correctly. Very good. I think we've done the inconscient before, have we
Mhm.
not?
Yes.
So he has broken into the depths of the inconscient that even veil themselves from their own vision, from their own look.
Hmm.
And he has even seen God's slumber shape these magic worlds.
Hmm.
My gosh. Wow. So it seems that Hiranyagarbha is the one who creates in sleep. He's the God who creates in sleep.
Yeah, Hiranyagarbha.
Yes. And so
Okay.
he's saying now he has seen God's slumber shape these magic worlds. So the sleeping deity
Just noting.
creates these worlds. Amazing, huh?
Oh.
Now we continue.
He has watched the dumb god fashioning matter's frame, dreaming the dreams of its unknowing sleep, and watched the unconscious force that built the stars. So he's
Oh,
saying the avatar has been a witness to all that the god creates or
yes,
the gods create.
yes, yes.
He
Well,
has learned the inconscious.
especially Aswapati and Sri Aurobindo
Hmm.
are being referred to here. I don't know if
Yeah.
every avatar has seen, because certain avatars only come for a specific work.
Hmm.
So Krishna came for a specific work, Christ came for a specific work.
Okay.
But the dual avatars, Purusha, Prakriti, have never come before.
Hmm.
This is the first time they have come in the form of Sri Aurobindo and Mother.
Hmm.
Should give us a moment for deep gratitude. So that beautiful line, and watch the unconscious force
Force that built
build the stars.
stars.
Have we done force before?
Uh, I think so, but maybe I can still go. I think it was a short one, no?
No,
No,
it's
no,
short.
no. Maybe I read.
You could read some of it.
Yeah. I'm jumping to Sri Aurobindo. Maybe I'll just read one or two and then we move on. Sri
Okay.
Aurobindo, force is nothing but the power of being in motion. All phenomenal existence revolves itself into force, into a movement of energy that assumes more or less material, more or less gross or subtle forms for self-presentation to its own existence.
Now,
Force.
did you say, I thought you said revolves and not resolves.
Yes, I did say revolves. I didn't say resolves. All phenomenal existence resolves itself into force,
because
into
that's
a
very important,
yes,
huh?
it changes
Very,
the whole meaning. Yeah,
yes, yes.
into a movement of energy that assumes more or less material, more or less gross or subtle forms for self-presentation to its own experience. Force is essential Shakti. Energy is the working drive of the force, its active dynamism. Power is the capacity born of force.
So, force is the essential Shakti.
Yeah,
Very clear.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is very important because he watches this essential Shakti
Hmm,
that has built the stars.
hmm.
But it's unconscious. It's he doesn't say that it's conscious, and that's an
Yeah,
interesting statement. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's the well, actually, it's four lines that are most critical here. First of all, we have God's slumber shaping these worlds.
Mm-hmm.
There's this silent God fashioning matter's frame.
Yeah.
There's this God who's dreaming the dreams of its unknowing sleep, and there's the unconscious force, which is the essential Shakti that built the stars.
Hmm.
Incredible, four lines. He tells us how these worlds were created. He also told us before that the gods, um, we can say the lower gods, or the gods who are against the um, transformation of life, are also in this world.
Hmm.
And he's very clear about this.
Hmm.
These gods who are the opposition of Earth's powers,
Hmm.
and even the ambushes of nature and the world's attacks. I remember reading in a letter of Sri Aurobindo to Amal that Amal asked him, "Well, what about Savitri?" And Sri Aurobindo says, "There's no time for Savitri now.
Yeah.
It was World War II,
Yeah.
and he was working through many beings, especially Churchill, for the conquest of the Axis, Hitler."
Hmm.
And it was early days because it was around 1940. Huh?
Hmm.
So that's 10 years before Sri Aurobindo left his body. He was about 63 at
Yeah.
that time. And uh, there weren't many people in the ashram at that time.
Hmm.
Mother did not start taking them until later,
Hmm.
till middle of the war.
Okay.
So there were very few disciples there,
Hmm.
and many of them were against what Sri Aurobindo was asking. Take the side of the British, he said.
Okay. And the school was already started then or not yet?
No, it was started a little later.
Okay.
Yeah.
The school
So
started when Sri Aurobindo was still there or after he left?
when let's see. No, Mother did it in his name. He was not there.
Okay.
Just after he left, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe in the early 50s.
Hmm. Okay.
So we see that Sri Aurobindo was aware of all these things, the ambushes of nature, the attacks of the world,
Hmm.
yet the spirit transcends pain and bliss. And he fronts evil. He fronts evil and good
Hmm.
with calm and equal eyes.
Hmm.
But he has to grapple with this sphinx of the lower nature. It's the eternal quest.
Yeah.
and he has to plunge into her long obscurity. So we can go on a little bit more.
Yeah. He has learned the inconscious workings and its law, its incoherent thoughts and rigid acts, its hazard,
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 yes.
its hazard wastes of impulse and idea, the chaos of its mechanic frequencies, its random calls, its whispers falsely true, misleaders of the hooded listening soul.
Ah, yes. So we have a lot to look at here, and this is he's taking us so deeply into the work of the avatar.
Mm,
Um, its hazard wastes of impulse and idea.
mm,
You, we should really define hazard. You
okay.
understand it, though, I
Yeah,
think. No?
yeah. Hazardous materials.
Yeah, but it's something that causes unavoidable danger,
Yeah,
peril,
yeah,
difficulty.
yeah.
And the impulse and idea, these impelling forces, impetuses. So he has to face its hazard wastes of impulse and idea
Mm,
and the chaos of its mechanic frequencies.
mm,
Now, mechanic in this sense is habitual,
okay.
routine frequencies. And frequencies are conditions that occur at very frequent intervals.
Yeah.
So it's random calls, random is occurring without any aim or any
Mm,
definite aim or reason. Random calls, and
mm,
it's whispers that are falsely true because they are misleaders
mm,
of the hooded listening soul. The hooded soul is the covered up or concealed soul.
mm,
When Sri Aurobindo often speaks of the call around the head, the covering around the head, but here he's speaking more of the soul that figuratively is covered up or concealed.
mm,
So these calls and these whispers and these mechanic frequencies, these impulses are all misleaders of our soul.
mm,
We can see very clearly if we look a bit into politics or we look a bit into modern movies and videos. We can see very clearly all of this. We can see impulse and idea, mechanic frequencies, even whispers falsely true.
mm,
And they are definitely intending to mislead our souls.
mm,
They're very dark,
mm,
very, very dark. And we have to be aware of them at every moment.
mm,
And they're out there to entrap us, to inhibit our inner progress so that we don't get towards the transformation of the human body or the perfection of the psychic being. And it's it's a sphinx, it's a riddle
mm,
that we're facing, a very strong riddle. So this is what the avatar has to face.
mm,
And there is no going around it.
mhm,
He Narad Paran would write to Sri Aurobindo and say to him, "Oh, you don't have to go through what we have to go through because you're an avatar and we're human beings."
Mm.
Well, it's a very strong mental argument,
Mm.
but Sri Aurobindo answers it very clearly, and he says, "If I didn't take on the human aspect, how could I begin to change it?"
Mm.
So the avatar has to take on this burden of
Mm.
humanity
Mm.
in order to change it, to show the way, as Mother says. You look tired, so I think we should stop for today
Okay. Yeah,
because,
it's really been good. We have covered quite a bit.
yes, we did. You
Yeah.
want to read from the beginning?
Yes, I was also thinking of that.
Good, wonderful.
In dreadful passages, the fatal paths, invulnerable his soul, his heart unslain, he lives through the opposition of earth's powers and nature's ambushes and the world's attacks. His spirit's stature transcending pain and bliss, he fronts evil and good with calm and equal eyes. He too must grapple with the riddling Sphinx and plunge into her long obscurity. He has broken into the inconscious depths that veil themselves even from their own regard. He has seen God's slumber shape these magic worlds. He has watched the dumb God fashioning matter's frame, dreaming the dreams of its unknowing sleep, and watched the unconscious force that builds the stars. He has learned the inconscious workings and its law, its incoherent thoughts and rigid acts, its his hazard ways of impulse and idea, the chaos of its mechanic frequencies, its random calls, it whispers falsely true, misleaders of the hooded listening soul.
Good reading. Good. You see, a second reading makes all the difference, doesn't
Yes,
it?
yes,
And not only that, because it's a second reading, but because we have been through each line
mm,
and we have tried to understand a little better each line, and therefore when you reread it, you have that in your consciousness.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
work. Okay,
Okay,
namaste.
namaste. Thank you so much, Narad. Narad, it's been just 1 year, I think, or maybe not exactly, but almost 1 year since we
Has
started reading.
has it?
Because I think we started end of March, because March, I think 16th or March 15th was when you left for the US last year.
17th, yes.
17th, okay. And
Yeah.
I think we started reading like 2, 3 weeks after you went. So maybe end of March we would have started reading.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm so happy that we continue with it.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, good,
And
good.
I really see the synchronicity of my reading, mainly maybe in my sadhana, because many times when you ask me to slowly read or I rush, I um, see that I'm also trying to rush, maybe that week or at that phase of life. I'm in something in me is also in the rush, but like when today, like I noticed and I consciously was reading slow, so then that kind of surrender also comes into the life where I don't um, struggle to push through, or like there's an aspect of surrender that comes to me um, in alignment with the reading of Savitri.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You are aware, of course, that you are a very active person
Yeah.
and you're going in many, many, many directions.
Yeah.
And Savitri focuses the consciousness down to the
Yes.
essence, to
Yes.
the essence.
Mm.
And so the lines take on a different meaning.
Mm.
They go directly into the inner being, into the psychic being, and the mantra repeats itself there. So even a line or two could repeat itself for weeks,
Mm.
and we're not even aware of it, but it's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Namaste, Narad. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
See you on Monday.
Yes, good.